Delhi Crime Richie Mehtas 7-part digital series is too close for comfort entertainment. On December 16, 2012, Canadian writer-director Richie Mehta was visiting Delhi, working on an independent production Siddharth, as the Nirbhaya gang rape case snowballed into a national headline, shocking citizens, the capital's young in particular, enough to hit the streets, protest, and collectively wonder aloud. What the hell? Just a few days later, while confirmations on the severity of the crime had settled in, Mehta met a family friend, recently retired Police Commissioner Neeraj Kumar, who was familiar with his work, and asked if he might want to follow the thread of that story for a film. The incident was too fresh at the moment to look at it as a film, Mehta thought. Kumar essentially, 5 days is how long it took Delhi police to nab those 6 culprits akin to finding a needle in a haystack, who were on that white, private bus, on the road, when a woman and her male friend unsuspectingly boarded it, returning home from a movie one random night. Since his late teens, Mehta, born and raised in Toronto, has been spending almost half a year in Delhi, where his mother is from, working on films that he says have centered on the city. This is important. Did the fact that Mehta is still not from Delhi per se equip him to be able to tell one of the city's most brutal crime stories, with relative dispassion/distance? Perhaps. At the heart of the script is an incredible manhunt, and a striking police procedural, centered on a deputy police commissioner DCP, played to perfection by Shefali Shah Satya, Monsoon Wedding, arguably one of India's most underrated actors. She leads a team of, over coffee that lasted a few hours. Shah recalls having met and interviewed Sharma on the minutest details of her job, down to the books on her desk, or what she scribbles on her workbook/diary. She came away, although wholly character-driven rather than strong on plot. Ivan Soni, that also recently dropped on Netflix, is an equally empathetic take on the workings/limitations of Delhi police as a force. And while magnitude for inspiration through, Mehta lists 3 films in particular. One was William Friedkin's The French Connection, the Gene Hackman police procedural, from the 70s. The other was David, You Do, especially sense a United 93 connection, given Delhi crime's shooting style that, through seemingly natural lighting, pretty much places the viewer as a fly on the wall, while cops go about their day and night, round the clock, sticking it out, without a home to go to, until the bloody job is done. The entire series, the larger POV in Delhi crime, however, is entirely the police's, which was in fact Mehta's primary impetus to script the series in the first place. And that he intended. You can instantly sense the script emerging as Mehta recounts his conversations with cops, which straight off translate into scenes on the show. For instance, but the final trigger for Mehta to devote 4 years on a story that everyone already knows was actually an optimistic one. While being narrated, strongly highlighting rotten apples, and their deeds, also might be a good way to protect against criminal history repeating itself. Public outrage, also read. Catch up on all the latest in gossip here. Also download the Jacqueline Fernandez, Sonia Malhotra, Arjun Rampal spotted on a dinner outing. Copyright 2018 Midday Info Media Limited. All rights reserved. Vote for your Fave Bombay Atta from 6 nominees.
Raindrop, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot bar. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up.